أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Now, these are some of the guidelines to the house officers who are posted in the different hospitals in Pakistan. I am Professor Syed Ali Azhar. I am Senior Visiting Professor of Medicine GSMU. I am a retired person and living in my residence, delivering different lectures and guidelines to the doctors and students and postgraduates without any cost, money, or any fame. Just guidelines. It is the guidelines. Maybe the people who are watching this video, they will not agree with it. But this is the fact which I have explained in this video. In this video I am explaining a designation. What is designation of house officer is not very easy to achieve. It requires 2 to 3 years of the college education and intermediate with matriculation and 5 years of medical school education. Then passing all of these years with the good grades and finally opting for the ward afterwards of one's choice, not one choice, but by ranking top in the merit list of about 300 or more fresh medical graduates make you a house officer. It is not according to your wish. It may possibility your merit number is 234. Then the medical superintendent will decide where you will go. But those persons who have got under 10 or under 20 or under 50, they will get the house job accordingly. For example, medicine or medicine and allied, surgical and allied, etc., etc., or gynae ops. It is not, your decision depends upon the merit list actually. So what is going on here? It is very, very difficult. Very hard work is needed to obtain this designation. Now, when the house job starts, the house officer has the following job description in mind according to the international standards. Duties concerning effective patient care, which may include learning to approach a patient, obtaining the histories, sharpening skills of the examination, and ordering lab investigation, suggesting probable medication, etc., etc. Now, this is the international standard. Do you meet these standards? This is a question you have to answer. Patient monitoring is not restricted only to the vital signs. And the vital signs are there. And it should be done every 4 hourly, 6 hourly. Not only restricted, although this is very, very important part, but it includes a number of equally vital parameters. All parameters, vital parameters. The general examination, the systemic examination had got the vital parameters which need time for the proper monitoring. It may be purely your bedside assessment, it may be purely dependent upon the instruments you are using it. It depends. But it is not restricted only to the vital signs. Then the house job did not mean work at your home, working at the home, taking the manual work at the home, because 80% are house jobs they achieved by the girls than the boys. When they arrive at their home, they have to do some work at their home also. But this house job doesn't mean that this house job means the home job. It is not home job. It is house jobs. House job. House means ward here. But in learning environment at hospitals under supervision, this is house job. under supervision. Learning environment at hospital under supervision. Working in one of the largest tertiary care hospitals, for example, Civil Hospital, Karachi or Jinnah Postgraduate Medical Institute or Center in Karachi is generally thought to be very learning and full experience, even though no formal job description is provided at the time of the joining. Job description is very important. It should be they should give you in your hands, and this is your job description. Do you have the paper or the job description with you at the start of the house or not? This is again the question given to you. When I was doing my house job, there was no job description was given. Now, I don't know today's nowadays what is happening actually. But to our mind, the job description changed drastically after working for a few months there. What is in your mind when you are doing in the first day, and then after a few months, you know the value of yours. Now, house officers in this setup are expected to approach patients in the following manner: obtaining histories after provisional biodata, obtaining histories, physical examinations, which is equivalent to the final year medical student level. Only they command that go take the history and then go the physical examination and write it down the positive finding, etc., etc., etc. This is the same as the final year medical level. It should be more than final year medical student level and under supervision and learning environment. Then this is called house job, otherwise it is not called house job, it is the final year, the same thing. Then the house officer is supposed to draw blood samples. Samples can be taken by the nurses, but they order you to go it for the investigation by yourself. Take the blood sample, go to the lab, stand in the same queue as the patient and wait for his or her turn, which takes about 2 hours on an average, then come back to the ward, check the file for the orders other than the blood investigations and take the patient for relevant tests such as echocardiography, go for the department, then for the echocardiogram, go for the ultrasound department, go and they do the ultrasound, patient is with you, go for the Doppler, etc., etc., etc. Manual work, labor work. This is labor work and it is not the professional work actually what they are ordering. Your immediate supervisor and more than the immediate supervisor, they are doing these things. You are not expecting that you are doing same as the staff nurse or nursing attendant. Although you should know how to draw the blood. Yes, once, twice, thrice, but for 3 months continuously you are going for this all parade. Each of these also requires the house doctor to wait in queues for hours for their turn. Then the house officer is to take relevant opinions from other departments of the hospital or the patient evaluation, for the referral has been given. Go to the cardiology ward and take the opinion. You take the patient with you and go to the cardiology ward where again the same queues are there and you have to wait for the consultant to, he will ask you why they have sent and bagara, etc. Now talking about the government hospital where the usual timings are 9:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. or 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. The official being 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. For the officer it is 8 a.m. now to 4 p.m. or more than that. What is the house officer supposed to do? Because he is a house officer. He is a medical officer. Attend morning rounds lasting for 2 hours. Then attend case presentation for 1 hour. I don't know whether beneficial or not. Deal with the patients in OPD. Do self-learning, or leave all of this and wait in queues for 4 hours daily out of the 6 working hours. 4 hours for these things. Only 2 hours are left for any learning process. This is a dilemma. Talking in general, the officer will spend 1 hour at the patient bedside, take a round of their allotted bed for 45 minutes. Unwillingly, they have to skip the case presentations because you are attending the rounds and then you are collecting the information. So skip the case presentation. They start their running donkey work of sample drawing and taking the patient around the hospital for various investigations. Donkey work. What a word! My colleague has used this word, donkey. She has used very correctly this terminology. Mule work, donkey work. In this way, they spend only 25% of their time in learning and training, if possible, by yourself, and the rest of the time into nothing. This learning includes only 1% of the time with consultant interaction if they are interested. So, मशरूत है, condition है कि the consultant is busy or not busy, is interested or not interested. After all this hard work, these house officers are supposed to tolerate insults from all sorts of the people, but the quality and reason for the insults are very important to consider. House officers are mainly interested in different departments because they want their patients' work to be done with sincerity. Okay, they say that definitely aim should be this. But what happens that if insulting for this reason is really a part of the house job training, insulting behavior of the immediate supervisor, insulting behavior for the other supervisor, insulting behavior of the assistant and associates and professor levels. And this is the attitude. Normally, I have already done my house job, I know these things. Insulting behavior, not on all wards. I am not saying that all wards are doing the same work. Most of the wards are doing the same. Then it is a shame for the policy makers. Shame. What they are doing. They are wasting their time. That's why Americans they do not demand the house job certificates. If they know what is happening actually in our wards, they are donkey type of work are given to them without considering what is the interpretation of the CBC, what is the interpretation of the FT, etc., etc. Because this is against the human ethics on the one hand, and on the other hand against the doctor's dignity. You are a doctor. Doctor is very, very important, profession. Dignity is hurt. This is the observation of my colleague Dr. Sara Siddiqui. I highly support Dr. Sara for her observations. So I will give a few examples. Before I will go forward, I want that you people should think for a few minutes of what I have said just now. Only a few minutes. Then I will go for the further of my lecture. In a few minutes, I will start exemplifying my experience.